Hi, this is Shadi, and recently I've been doing a lot of research back into Aikido, and like I said, I've contemplated going back because I miss it in a sense, and I feel that it has a lot to offer from a educational standpoint and philosophical standpoint. I believe that the practice still holds a purpose even though we are in an age of something that functions and functions quickly, like judo, BJJ, Muay Thai, and all the other good arts like sambo and wrestling. But I've been doing a lot of research. Recently I did a judo versus aikido, explaining the similar philosophies, however a little bit of differences in the expression of the arts, like mizunagare, kuzushi, so on and so forth. And also I did a video about lost techniques of like Yoko Sutemi Waza by Minoru Mochizuki that tried to add them. So I was going back in the old stuff that I used to watch, and there is this Aikikai series of New York that was put on Howcast, and they have a video called Kubishime, and they explain that they have chokes in Aikido that are rarely done, and it's an Aikikai school. It's not like some Steven Seagal Tenshin Aikido school that tries to do stuff to look more combative. It's an Aikikai school that's doing chokes, and they are judo chokes, but the entry is very different and they're very unique. So we're gonna go through them and also explain why they are important, not just for Aikido but for martial arts in general. And it's a brilliant video. So the first choke is none other than the rear naked choke. He explains it with a Aikido entrance here. He wraps it around, and it is the basic Hadaka Jime, or the naked choke in judo. Here you can see it's being done mostly in Newaza. However, it was done standing up with an Aikido entry. So it's one of the basics you see in Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and Sambo. Here it is done with an Aikido flavor to it. Here he explains that the same entry for a throw called Iriminage, it's one of the basics for Aikido, but rather he wraps the arm around. And here he shows you how to finish, how to expand your chest by breathing in, etc. So here he goes down and shows you how to finish it and gets the tap. The second one is also from an Aikido entry. It is Kata Hajime, but here you see it's like an Ikkyo from Aikido. He goes in, grabs the lapel, blocks the arm, and gets the tap. Again from an Aikido entry, but it's a Kata Hajime of Judo. So here he shows you from Newaza, from Ushiro Gatame or back mount. He grabs it kind of like doing an Okuri Erijime, but he slides the hand upwards kind of like a half Nelson and blocks everything. He blocks the arm from defending and also squeezes to get the choke and puts the pressure with the forearm of the hand that's doing the half Nelson. So it is a judo choke nonetheless from the old jiu-jitsu, but here it was done from a Aikido entry like a Shomenuchi Ikkyo. So nonetheless it is very much possible. Here it's an Hadaka Jime from Shomenuchi, once again being done. Let's see it again. He breaks the striking arm, takes it to the side and wraps the neck with his hands and does like a gable grip. This is again a Hadaka Jime. Hadaka Jime is naked choke, so anything that's no gi oriented, it's considered Hadaka Jime. For example, the front guillotine, it is a Mai Hadaka Jime from mount or guard. So like I said, it is a judo choke, but it's first of all it's being done standing, and two, it's being done from an Aikido entry, which gives it its own unique spin. Now argue with me, it works, it doesn't work, Aikido doesn't work. That's all to be discussed later when it comes to the methodology of technique. I do have a theory of how to make it somewhat functional. So here a small recap. You have first the Iriminage entry, but finishing with a Hadaka Jime. Here Shomenuchi, you take it outside, kind of like a Okuri Erijime, a standard gi choke. And finally you have the Kataha Jime that also we saw it. So why is this video so important, the Howcast Kubishime video? First of all, it's an Aikikai, so this is something that O-sensei himself practiced and added to the repertoire of technique. And also, what makes it so unique is that, keep in mind, everything that's being done in Aikido, like standing wrist locks, and also some form of grabs and striking, and here the chokes, you see them standing up, all that stuff is forbidden in Judo. Shime Waza and Kansetsu Waza in Tachi Waza, or locks and chokes from standing grappling, it is forbidden in Judo. You are only allowed to do Nage Waza or throwing technique. You might pull for like a flying Jujigatame, but your shoulders have to touch the ground in order for it to be legitimate. But in Aikido, here you see standing wrist locks, you see also classical chokes that are proven to work, but from Aikido entry, and they are being done from standing position. So when people say that, oh, if you add this to Aikido, or if you add this to Aikido, it will look like bad Judo. And usually it's people that haven't done Judo, they're mostly BJJ people saying this and talking about Aikido, that if you add this grip or that grip, it will look like bad Judo, and they've never done Judo in their life. They are saying this. I know that they're trying to critique and make it somewhat of a functional art, but I disagree that if you add like standard kumikata, for example, if you ban the Russian arm, you ban the Georgian arm, you stick only with sleeve and lapel, or double sleeve, or armpit and collar grip, and you do your traditional kuzushi, you move fluently like Kyuzo Mifune, you do the half circle kuzushi, but then you finish it with an Aikido throw or the standing choke or a wrist lock. In my opinion, that can be done, that can be worked on, and also it will still somewhat express the Aikido philosophy. You can have your standard practice of Aikido that's all kata, and you go back and forth with your uke, and also you can do randori standard like Judo, and you can have standing wrist locks and also standing chokes, which will make it a unique martial art, and it will not look like bad Judo. I can promise you that. You can also have Suwari Waza, like when they do kneeling down, they do the same techniques but kneeling down, but you can do and win by like Osaikomi. Here you can see he's doing Suwari Waza. You can win by Osaikomi, you can win by wrist lock, by the tap, you can win by the choke. You can add a few two or three pins of Judo that are light and easy to do, like Katagatame, Kuzure Kezagatame, Hon Kezagatame, and maybe also side control, because all these stuff, whatever grappling discipline you can see them, they are present, like freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman, you can find these pins, so it's not like it's gonna look like Judo. You can do the expression of Suwari Waza here, you can see in front of you, but on the ground here you can have your own style of pin where the torso is down, and if they cannot get up, you can win the match. So there's so many things, so many possibilities to do with Aikido. It's not just an expression of a philosophy. In my opinion, it can be combative and still retain its philosophical expression, and also be a viable form of self-defense. Is it the best? That is 100% on you. How much you lift weights in the gym, how strong you are, if you're doping, your build, how tall are you, your bone structure, and also how much you train and how talented you are. I'm not gonna say if it's gonna be like the best or the worst. That's not for me to say, but nonetheless, if you how do you say, just modify the training methodology with like a little bit of kuzushi, of man-made kuzushi, not someone giving you something and then finishing it with an Aikido throw like Kokyonage, Iriminage, Kaitenage, and the wrist locks and the chokes you saw. You can have a beautiful martial art that's both doesn't need strength and also effective, and also works same principles like Judo, which is also proven to work, and do a Suwari Waza with a little bit of Osaikomi added to it and the old Aikido technique, and you can have a very good martial art, in my opinion. So these techniques like the Yoko Sutemi and the chokes that I've shown you here before, it really shows that Aikido can really evolve and still remain Aikido, especially with the entry and how you create this half circle with your partner and then go in and finish with like a throw or a yokosutemi or a choke or a wrist lock, so on and so forth. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. I believe this is something that should be discussed because in my opinion Aikido is just so vague when it comes to like definitions, and also you have people that just training hard but there's no sparring but calling it's functional. But I do like to add my judo spin on it, and it will also remain Aikido like martial art. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.